See this slide going
Yeah, I
through
think the
right
ring.
now. If y'all are here and you're seeing this,
Hey, Tim,
yeah,
you forgot to tie it around your belt when you let go.
I know. I don't think it'd pick me up, okay?
I wouldn't be surprised as fast as it went up.
Guys, as the SARA Club, K5 SAR worked the Eclipse event. We worked it, VHF, UHF, and HF. Reginald, bless his heart, with the help of Rick, and give Rick a big hand right quick, okay? Rick made sure that all the WinLink stuff worked right for everybody, okay? So the guys that were on WinLink, that was Reginald and Brian Loper out of Atlanta. They were able to do their WinLink systems. Thanks for Rick bringing for your 7300 and getting everything set up, okay? I brought my 7300 because we had a little problem with Jim's 7300 in the trailer. So my 7300 worked on 7255. That was the SOC out of Austin. Ronnie had his 991 sitting there. He worked 7290 traffic net. Okay. Reginald was on 7103.5 on the WinLink system as well. So we had a station set up inside the weather service. We also had a station set up outside with Jim. And Jim, I want to praise you for what we had set up with the emergency response trailer. If you don't know, if you have not seen this yet, guys, you've got to see this in operation. We had 4 HF radios, 4 VHF radios working to do this Eclipse event. We were on standby, right? But everywhere we needed to be heard, we were heard, okay? I had a G5 RV up. Ronnie was hooked to that on his 991. Ronnie had a network.
It worked out good, man.
We had an NVIS, okay? It was about 20 foot in the air or so better?
Yep. About 20.
About 20. Ronnie had his octopus up just on 40 meters. That was about 20 foot, right?
16, actually.
16, okay?
There's a picture of it.
There's a picture of it right there. And that worked absolutely beautiful.
G5R.
That's what Reginald was on, okay? I was on 7255, and that octopus was 18 foot, correct?
14.
14, okay, so I was at 14 foot. We were able to make solid communications with the SOC out of Austin, Texas on 40 meters. Everything that we covered in this event, we worked as K5SAR. This is a feather in our cap, okay? Brian Loper, y'all see Brian right there. Brian was impressed. Not only was Brian impressed, Brad. What's Brad's last name? Brad Bryant at the National Weather Service was ecstatic about what we did. You see this little fat guy right here, and you see this video of this weather balloon going up. I did something I have never done in my life. I got to release a weather balloon at totality. if you've never had the opportunity to hold this weather balloon in your hand, let it go, let it pull the transponder out of your other hand, and watch this thing go up. Oh my God, guys, y'all have never lived, okay? This is something that we've had fun with, okay? This event, we were on standby in case of any emergencies, but we showed what amateur radio could do if it was a necessary thing for us to do. So kudos to the SARA Club, kudos to Jim, kudos to Rick, Ronnie. I'm not even gonna say to myself because I was just there. Y'all know I'm gonna be in the middle of it. Tom Cole, John Beck, Reginald,
There he is.
and there's Reginald. Okay, y'all see me over there playing with this. You said big balloon. That was cool.
Which is the balloon?
The white thing is actually a balloon. Okay. Thank you, Andy. But we had a lot of fun. We worked. Go ahead, Bob.
Tim, is that a hot air balloon?
Hydrogen. Okay, we did it with hydrogen. Okay, not hot air. Okay, I could have filled it up with hot air, but y'all know that. Okay, we were actually able to not only just work the eclipse event, but we got to be a part of getting the balloon launch. Okay. And seeing what they're seeing at totality at the Weather Service. And let me tell you guys, if y'all have never seen a weather balloon take off, oh my God. When I turned loose of this balloon, within 1.5 seconds, the transponder left out of my hand, okay? And it just, and Ronnie, what was it? 30 seconds later, it was almost out of sight, right?
Oh, yeah.
This thing just hauled butt up, okay?
So the pictures you see
But-
here, this is just before he releases it. This picture here was taken in about a half a second after he released it. This is about 3 seconds later.
Can you freeze that right there? Or go back to it?
Go back to it. Yeah, let's go back. Let's show this, okay? So you guys don't understand how fast this thing is operating. Go ahead, Ronnie. I'll let you talk about that. Whoa. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
There's my fat self.
One where the balloon is actually up. I think you need to go a couple more there. Right?
That's where I'm.
The other way. I want to see it up in the air.
There we go.
Parachute is way up on the side.
One more?
One more.
There we go.
The little device itself is down here.
That's
This
it.
is a parachute.
That's the device.
Right, this is the parachute right here. And from what they told us, when this thing gets above 19,000 feet, it gets as big as that dome on that radar out there from the air expanding. And it'll finally explode, and the device will come down with the parachute, and they can track it, they know where it goes. But very seldom do they even go and retrieve them anymore. I guess they're so cheap now or something. They
That-
can't go get them.
That, and if it lands on private property, they have to get, this is what Brad was telling me,
Yeah, permission to go. get it.
permission to go get it. So if that little and you guys are gonna be smiling, this transponder that gets all this information out of the air,
About that big?
yeah, about that big, okay? Maybe a little smaller even, okay? A little shorter. It's about an inch and a half thick, and I guarantee you it don't weigh half a pound, okay? And so when I was holding it up and let it go, this is what the guy told me. He said, hold that balloon. When I tell you let it go, let it go. He said, your left hand, just raise your arm up with the transponder in it. He said, just take it out of your hand. Within about less than a second, it was gone, okay? And I did that, all I did was just hold it. He said, don't let it fall and hit the ground. Just hold on to it. When that thing took off, it was like crazy. It just went, okay? And then you had some guys that were videoing it. We got some video of it. I think that's on our webpage. I think it's also on our Facebook page and stuff. Do what, Ryan?
I put it up there.
Okay, it's on the Facebook page. So, you know, all this stuff that we did, this is what SARA's about. We're just not about having fun and talking on the repeaters. We're not just talking about talking HF and stuff. We're talking about being on standby for emergency preparedness. This was one of these things in cooperation, not only just with SARA, but we were involved with the Freedom Link system, who was connected to the E-Tech system out of Sulphur Springs, and then also the TDM system, which carried us all the way to South Texas, across the Texas Gulf Coast, okay? So from the Texas border all the way up into Arkansas, we were connected via 146.76 on the VHF links, okay? So, yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Let me put one feather in our cap of the club. We were the only ones who were doing this.
Correct.
There's no other hand club out doing it.
Brian and I talked today. Brian Loper. We talked today. And Brian said, as far as he knows, our club and the Freedom Link system were the only ones that put on an event like this. We've got about 2 minutes until the start. And there's our WinLink guy. Y'all, Reginald knew what he was doing, okay?
Star of the silver screen.
That star of the silver screen. You're up here on these pictures, okay? But I'm gonna tell you guys something. We've always been involved as far as weather service stuff with Skywarn. We've always been involved with anything that we can get ourselves into. This is something that Brian and I are working on, getting all this video, all these pictures and these things that we have. We're going to go to the ARRL. Nobody else in the country did what we did. So we're going to have all of our information together. Brian and I talked to Brian today. Ron, you don't even know about this, okay? We're going to go and see if we can get the SARA Club mentioned along with the Freedom Link group in QST with pictures of working the event. Okay? So this is going to put us on the ARRL website. This is going to put us out there showing what we do as a club. Okay? I want your picture front and forward. Okay? And the reason I do, we could not do it without Jim and his trailer. Everybody give Jim a big hand.
Just remember that trailer becomes SARA, and SARA's in 4 years.
Okay. This is something nobody knows. Jim and I were talking, and he told me, now, Sarah Club, get ready. Jim, do you want to talk about that real quick before we start the meeting? Or do you want me to tell them
About what?
about the trailer?
Jim, the trailer was built with SARA in mind. I have two projects left to do. One of them is to hook up a DC circuit in it so that we can hook a solar panel to it and be able to run the VHF, UHF radios with the generator van. The other project is one that Kim and I talked about, and that's setting up where we can ground it temporarily on that. But when I get done with it, that trailer will be transferred to the SARA Club ownership.
Okay, now, I talked to Jim about what he just said. Jim said this is no cost to the SARA Club. This is a donation. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, Jim's got better than $12,000 in this trailer as it sits right now. This is a significant donation to the club. Jim doesn't want anything else, but I told him and I promised him there will be a plaque when you're sitting at the operating desk that says, "Thank you, Jim Stevens, KC5QL, for your donation to the SARA Club." Okay?
I got a silly question. Where do you put the trailer to keep it from getting broken into and stolen?
It will be out there at the clubhouse on the premises of the Greenwood Flea Market, and it will be secured and safe, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. Everything is double padlocked, and the tongue has a lock on it. Go ahead, Bob.
Also, check into ARRL with their insurance program.
And we will add that to our insurance program, okay? So, this is not just the trailer. Jim, tell them everything you're giving us.
You're getting a 9,360 watt dual fuel electric generator, electric start generator, two 30-pound propane tanks, one 20-pound propane tank. You know that cook set you see. Let's get over here.
Get me off the screen, please.
Let's get back here as well. This whole system here that you see here, the cook set, the camp stove, the bottle, the canopies, all come with it.
Along with a 7300 icon. What's the VHF, UHF radio?
One of them is a Yaesu FTM 300DR, brand new. And the other one is a Kenwood V71.
Also,
There's also two
the power supplies. The power supplies, go ahead, Jim.
There's two inexpensive walkie-talkies. There is a Wasong and a Yaesu for stasis. Walkie-talkies are upstairs. An anemometer. There is a temperature thing that I haven't hooked up yet. What else is in there? Of course, there's all kinds of cook gear in there. Huh? Yeah, all the antennas that you've seen in there. Do you see this tripod here? Right here?
There's two of those.
Two of those.
Go back to the pictures up there,
Here's
the
it.
octopus.
There's two of those, two octopus, and there's that's a big stick. There are also on the other pole is a
VHF, UHF antenna. So,
this is the other antenna, but there's an octopus that goes where we've got the G5RV hooked up to it.
there you go. So, now, if we can all stand. First thing I want to say, when Billy says this prayer, we want to keep Charlie, AE7BM, in our prayers. And Billy, will you announce that? He had a heart attack last Friday afternoon. So Billy, would you start our prayer, please?
Lord, we thank you for this evening and an opportunity to come back together and enjoy a hobby that we all enjoy. Keep us safe, Lord God. Bless our time for learning and bless our fellowship and keep us safe as we go home this evening. In your name, we ask. Amen.
Amen. Everybody turn to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, everybody, introductions. My name is Jim Hall. I am K5 CFH. I am the president of the SARA Club. Jim, John, would you introduce yourself?
Well, this certificate has these.
Bless you.
Thank you. I'm John, 85 LE.
Jim,
Jim, KC5 PQL,
and you're a board member?
controller.
Okay.
My name's Randy, KY4RJ, I'm club secretary.
Ike, KE5WDP, I'm social media on Media Row right here.
Andy, KF5 Orium, historian.
Joey, KJ5 CIK, just new member.
Glad you're here, Joey, and nice to meet you. Glad you're here.
I'm Patrick, KJ5 ERC, prospective member, I guess.
Glad you're here.
I'm Tom, KI5 ELV, recruiter coordinator and technical director.
I'm Vic, KD5 HPT.
Vic, he's one of our chases storms.
I'm Joe, I don't have the call sign.
I'm glad you're here, Joe. Welcome. Glad you're one of our visitors, okay?
My name's Grant. I'm a visitor. I got some bow phones, just trying to figure out how to use them.
Okay, Grant, glad you're here. We want to get you an amateur license so you can use them,
I got the book.
okay?
I got the book. I just,
We're having a
Figure it out.
test on the 20th of April,
Yeah, I need to
okay?
go longer than that. I done started that thing. I only need to go
Well,
longer.
2 months later,
Okay.
in June, we'll have a test session, okay?
James, KI5 KOG.
James, I've talked to you today, actually. Hello, James. Nice to meet you.
Kenneth, KI5 LVM.
Hey, Kenneth.
Kevin, KJ5 FIV.
Kevin, nice to meet you.
Bob, KV5RD.
Kim, KI5 BHX.
Phyllis, K5 PLH.
I'm Ronnie, W5SUM VP.
Billy, K5 BW.
Denise.
Hey, Denise.
I'm Johnny, KD5 GW.
I'm John, KI5 OVG.
Hey, John.
Wilbur, K5 WCR.
President, KI5 WS.
Rick, K2GF.
Okay, I think that's everybody that's here right now. All right. Now, we do have some new business, some old business, and everything else. First, I'm going to ask for our secretary's report because we need to have our report on the secretary.
Okay. Well, there's not much to tell. I sent out the minutes to last month's meeting in the email today, so those of you that are on the email list should have gotten those. And I don't know, you know, of any other?
There's a couple of things that we're going to add to it, but we'll do that after you get done with new business, okay?
All right. So that's it for the secretary report. If anyone would make a motion to.
Got a motion, got a second. All in favor? Anybody opposed? If you do, that's fine. We ain't hurt.
As long as you're not the majority.
Right. Thank you, Randy. All right, Bobby's not here, but I can tell you right now, I'll tell you exactly what Bobby says. If you got your minutes and you got everything in the emails, we got money. That's what Bobby will tell you, okay? We got plenty of money. Do we have any, anybody has any discussion about what money we have and where it's going, bring it up now? Okay. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I do want to make a brief pitch. Freedom Link, we talked about it. They've got legitimate expenses for spare batteries for emergency power backup. They have expenses for keeping electricity on at these sites. I'm going to make a pitch to the board for a $500 donation to Freedom Link, but I'm not bringing it up as a membership vote tonight, but it will come up next month.
Thank you, Rick. If you guys don't know a whole lot about Freedom Link, it is a very wide used for,
It was designed for Skywarn.
designed for Skywarn.
Off the top of my head, is it $500 limit or is it?
It's a $500 limit, and once we hit that 500, we have to ask for a club.
I may amend it to $499.
Okay, well, okay, let's do that. You want to amend that to $499? We can vote on it right now.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so we're asking for $499 to help fund.
And it's the start of our Skywarn comes up in that direction and comes towards us.
Right. So what this is, and Tom, back me up if I'm wrong, they start in East Texas. Most of our storms come from East Texas and they come across. So the Freedom Link system was.
Let's not ramble on.
Okay.
Let's just, we either bring it up for a vote or we shut it down.
Okay.
I make a motion that we spend $499 on Freedom Link.
We've got a second. All in favor?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, Randy, we're spending $500 to the Freedom Link system. I'll get you where to send it to. Okay, that's $499.
I'll round it up with an extra dollar myself.
All right, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. Okay, so, all right, we have old business. Is there, Ronnie, you got some old business you need to talk about?
I do.
About the vest?
Oh, well, we've done real well with our vest sales. We've gone through two orders of them now. I've only got two left for people to pick up. They didn't show up tonight. If anybody wants a vest, I can make a third order. That's not a problem. I just need to get your name and your size and all that kind of stuff. I can order you a new vest. This is what they look like. Stand up, Bill. Now, everybody pay attention to the SARA logo on there. Notice the color on the outside of it is yellow. And in just a second, I'll tell you why you need to pay attention to that. She wants to talk about the patches.
Okay. All right, so we got some other old business. Hold on just a minute, Phyllis. Any other old business that we have not discussed yet that anybody can think? Do you think of anything we have not discussed yet?
No.
Okay. Now, wait, Reginald? Repeater report. Yeah, let's go ahead with our, I'm sorry.
We're working on getting the, Scout Ranch repeater going, got some stuff on the new business to bring to us concerning that, but we're working on that, and, we're gonna be making some other recommendations in the coming weeks about some other stuff on some of our other repeaters. Right now, everything's working great.
Okay, thank you, Tom. All right, is there anything else in old business to be taken care of?
What about that? What about just a couple extra people for Saturday? Would that?
That's in new business, Andy. That's a personal thing, so we'll get to that in a few minutes, okay? All right. Now, we got new business, and the new business, starting off with Tom, because Tom, we need to talk about getting the funds allocated for.
As most of you know, all of us are getting older, and it's harder and harder for us to get up on top of stuff and work on stuff. So Rick brought up at the board of directors meeting to hire a tower company to finish getting the antenna up at the Scout Ranch on the water tower. Now, this is strictly the water tower repeater antennas. And I contacted Tower Solutions in Longview, and he gave me a ballpark figure to get the antenna the rest of the way up and get the feed lines run down. There may be some incidentals. So he said ballpark was $600. Let's figure with incidentals, let's go ahead and round it up to $2,000. That way if we need to buy connectors or anything else that we need to buy when he gets here, I don't have to come back to the club to say, let's do it. But he said, give him 2 or 3 days notice and we can go down there and put that antenna up. So, the board's already approved $5,000 for it, but I don't think we need to really vote on more than $2,000. But we need to get this.
I make a motion to accept.
I second.
All right, I've got a motion to accept up to 2,000, is that right, Rick?
Yes.
And Reginald, your second, Jim?
Second.
Say, he's up, I'm sorry. Yeah, are there, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, anybody opposed? Okay, look, it's not like we're spending money we don't have, we got plenty of money, okay? Just to get our scout ranch project going better, and we're not gonna lose and have to spend $9,000 and something dollars, right, Rick, to send back to the ARRL.
That money's already spent.
Huh?
The ARRL money is spent, it is consumed and gone.
Okay, so there we go. All right.
Okay.
All right. Is there any more new business that needs to be brought? We have, are there any new, members, to be voted on tonight?
I have received no new applications.
Is there anybody here that wants to join our club tonight, that has not filled out an application? And your call sign?
KJ5 ERC.
Come here and fill out an application right
Don't
now.
have.
It's KJ5
ERC.
ERC. Your name, talk to us while you're coming up here. We'll vote on you anyway.
Is a license required to join?
Yes, a license is required to join. If you have a license and you want to join our club, come on up here, talk to Randy, fill out an application. We'll go ahead and vote on you. And tell us a little bit about you and how long you've been a ham and all that.
I've only been a ham since February.
Guys, y'all listen.
I've only been a ham operator since February. I haven't got my general yet. But it seems like this is a really good place to start. Looks like there's a lot of support here. And I would love to join a bunch of like-minded people and really, I don't know, get rooted in. Looks like this is a good place to get started and get going.
All right, and your call, he's got an application.
I don't have an
You don't have one? Okay, we're gonna get you, pay him your dues.
Okay.
Well, he's
Oh, he's a new one, so he's a brand new ham too. According to our bylaws, brand new ham doesn't have to pay the first years. So,
what's your
now,
last name?
Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N.
His name is, say your name,
Patrick Martin.
Patrick Martin, call sign
KJ5 ERC.
KJ5 ERC. All right, can I have a motion to accept Patrick, KJ5 ERC? I've got 3, 4, 5, okay. Any seconds? Got a whole 4. All in favor? Welcome to the club.
I appreciate it.
Stay involved. Go to K5SAR website. Go to K5 SAR Facebook page. A lot of stuff you'll see will be posted on it, okay? All right. Phyllis has some new
Let me make an announcement real quick. I just got this from the Weather Service office. We've got, expecting Cross Bayou and Cross Lake to crest at 173.5 feet tomorrow afternoon, which is higher than what it crested in 2016. So we're gonna have some flooding on Cross Lake. We're right now at 172 feet. We're expecting it to be 173.5 tomorrow afternoon. So if you know anybody on Cross Lake, you need to notify them.
Thank you.
I know you.
Yeah, and it's, right now it's still well within the banks. But it's come up at a foot or more, since yesterday.
So, but we just got that from Weather Service.
All right, thank you, Tom. All right, Phyllis, you have some new business. Please bring that up.
This is about our patches. So that we want to go to the new patch that matches our trailer and a lot of our other stuff. This is the old one with the white around it. And we want to go to the yellow. And I have 3 different quotes here for 50 patches. It was $425 from Ham Threads, $375 from Oso because she has to add a startup fee. And Stitch Happens is $337.50 for 50
Okay.
patches.
Give those 50, please.
Those are all hundreds?
Yes.
Okay.
$425 from Ham Threads, $375 from Oso, and $337.50 from Stitch Happens.
Okay, now,
The lady in Bossier?
Yes.
Stitch Happens.
Phyllis, would you tell us which one you would like to go to? Which one do you feel comfortable with?
Well, that's not, Stitch Happen does a good job. The other lady is higher because she has a setup fee. And Ham Threads, that was a 30-day, so I'd have to go back to her for another quote.
Okay, so,
So one is local, the
One
others
is
will
local.
have to be shipped in.
right,
No,
Let's take a look.
Oso is local.
Local, where's she at?
On, where the government building is at Fairfield,
Oh, okay.
yeah, she's right down that area.
Local.
What you said, does a good job.
Go with that one.
Do you know her?
The one in Bossier,
Do you know her, Kenneth? Also?
I do, she's done work for me.
Oso,
okay,
and
so
hers is higher because she has to charge a setup fee.
Yeah.
we have 3, how much is your setup fee?
$50.
$50, so that's 3,
Well, her sticker, her patches are $6.50 each. And at Stitch Happens, they're $6.75 each.
Y'all understand that the patches we have now, we're selling for less than $5.
Yeah,
That ain't gonna happen
we're selling for
anymore.
$3 each, but that was just
Yeah.
basic cost.
Yeah.
Bob?
The setup fee, like most of them that I've worked with, that's a one-time, as long as we do return business,
Right,
it's the only time we pay it.
right,
That's to
Right.
get our artwork on file with them, that's what that's.
Sure, that's what the setup.
right.
And these
I
are,
have a motion for in-town.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. This is Bob with a second with Rick. All in favor, which one?
This is for the Oso?
this is for
There's
Oso.
2 of them
Oso.
local,
There's
which
2
one are
local.
we going?
Which one is local?
Oso is in Shreveport and Stitch Happens is in Bossier.
Okay, which one is the lower of the 2?
Oso,
Oso. So are we going for Oso with that $50 fee, is that right?
Yeah.
setup fee, yes.
$50 setup fee, so Oso or the other one at $6.75, is that correct,
Yes.
Bob?
We have somebody that's done business with them, quality work on time.
Yeah.
I'd like to make the motion for them.
Because that's Oso, is that correct?
That's correct.
We have a motion for Oso, a second.
Second.
I got Billy with a second. All in favor? Any opposed? There we go.
How much would that end up being per patch?
$6.50 per patch.
That's reasonable.
$50 setup fee, $375.
It's only $1.50 more than we were doing to start with.
375 for 100 patches or 60?
50 patches.
Okay? Yeah. We don't need more than 50 at a time because most of us already have our patches anyway, so it's a good deal.
And
She can get it, she can get it.
probably, if you, as an individual, go to them later, they've already got the stuff on file, so there won't be a setup fee if you had something
Right,
like our shirts.
right.
They do, she can order these shirts, and she will do the name and everything on them too. I have prices for that.
Okay, so we have, if you want to get with, Phyllis, if you want to order a shirt and get a patch put on it,
Oh,
little extra, huh?
The club can just order the patches and then they can go down and order their shirt.
Order their shirts
What
and
they
size
want.
and add it to it and whatever the cost of the shirt is, okay? So there you go. All right, is there any more new business?
Got the location of the meetings that we're talking about.
Okay, here's the main thing. We have two opportunities, okay? I know this, tonight with weather and everything, we're kind of slow and there's not a whole lot of people here. But normally here lately, we have been exceeding the room here. We're outgrowing this room very fast with our club.
We have that.
We have outgrown it. You're right, Billy. So, I talked to Podna's Barbecue on Mansfield Road. Oh,
It is Pops, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Thank you, Rick. I know what I'm talking about. This is actually Mel, KD5DE's daughter and son-in-law that own this business. They will set us up. We can have up to 85 people in the meeting room. They will set it up for us at 5 o'clock to walk in the door. They will have us a podium. They will have us a large screen TV, not quite this big, but it's pretty close to it, okay? It's a 70-inch screen. Hooked into HDMI, so you can hook a laptop to it, do your presentations with. They will set the room up however we desire for it to be set up. They're going to supply us with a American flag, and they're also going to supply us with a podium so we can start from a podium and go into all of our things. Okay. Now, that is one option. It will not cost us a dime, and they will give us this room as long as we want it, okay? No charge. They're actually held it for this month just to keep anybody from trying to get into it, okay? So all I gotta do is make a phone call. We want to change the meeting location. We can do that to Podna's on Mansfield. You can get in there at 5, eat your dinner before the meeting, 6 o'clock, go to the meeting, 7:30, we're out of there, and we're out of there before they close. So that's our first option. Bob Davis, would you give us our second option?
The church I attend has a pretty good sized recreation room. We've had dinners in there and we've seen in excess of about 75 to 80 people. If we move the tables out, there are 100 chairs. Tim, what's the dimensions do you think the room is?
About the same size as what we would have at Podna's, okay? Those dimensions, if I look right, it's about 40 foot by about 75 feet, okay?
Big screen and a podium.
And big screen and a podium. Now, the downside of that, no, I'm not down in it, okay? The thing is we'll be on Mansfield Road, fairly easily accessed for everybody. Come around 31, 32, drop off Mansfield Road, be there, okay? You can have a meal. You don't have to go after the meeting to find a place to eat, okay? You can have a meal before the meeting. It will be open at 5 o'clock for you to come in, sit down. You'll that room will be ours from 5 till 8 o'clock, okay? With the place that Bob has, it can be opened up at 5 o'clock, correct, Bob, or whatever time. We will not have dinner, so after the meeting, we will all still have to go find a place to eat.
It's about 2 miles distance difference.
Yeah, 2 to 3 miles distance, okay? So those are our two options, and we're bringing this now to the club for a vote because we have actually outgrown this place. And they, one thing I'll tell you, they're actually gonna get us a bigger screen before it's over with, so all of us old guys can see it. So, with that being said, we have, what's the name of your church, Bob?
Hope Church of God.
Hope Church of God.
It's also available, if we have a Saturday event where, like the Skywarn class,
Yeah.
it's available just with the phone call.
Okay, so we can use it even as a secondary, even if we don't do it as a club meeting place, we can use it as secondary. If we have a large event coming up, we can still pull it up on a Saturday to do it at that place. Is that correct, Bob? Okay. Now, I'm gonna ask for some motions.
I'll make a motion to move our meetings to, Podmas.
I second the food.
I have that and a second. Any others would like to do that and use, here's my addition to that. Use our secondary location for a Saturday location if we need a large capacity at your church. Is that okay, Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
I move we amend the motion to make Podmas our primary location and Hope Church of God our secondary location as needed.
Second is here.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, next month, one thing, go ahead,
We
Brian.
have a very small group of your club here tonight.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a lot of opposition from people who aren't here, just be aware.
Right, right. Well, we've kind of taken that into consideration. Now, what I'm looking at, go ahead, Reginald.
I mean, what, I've been, 3 years of that, 2 years, something. And this place here, Central 21, has been very kind. I don't know how we got it. Who charges nothing?
That's from Gary Stratton.
But, I don't know how we need to appreciate them or thank them or keep the doors open, anything else we may need. It's just something to think about for the club.
I'll make a motion that we have a plaque built, said thank you and appreciation for all you've done for us for the last 3 years from the K5 SAR SARA Club, and with our logo on it. We can have that made at any of the trophy shops and have it so they can hang it up on the wall in here.
So moved. Seconded.
All opposed?
All in favor?
All in favor? I got y'all. Okay, so we'll, Randy, I'll let you get on that, okay?
And talk about it on social media. That's the thing, is social
Yeah.
media and the nets and on the radio is conversation, get the word out.
We'll get the word out. I will have our meeting room set up for us next month and every month for the rest of the year and any time after that. Mel's son-in-law told me that they are looking forward to seeing us and all that. Okay, so we're done now. This is all our business. Is there any other business before we?
Tim, one thing I want to make an explanation of. The board considered a third location.
It's voted on, Jim. It's done.
No, let me finish. The third location that was mentioned was vetoed by the board because of the fact it had restricted access to it, which is where some of the folks who are not here are going to want us to go to. So would like you folks to be prepared to tell them that the Mosier Library is not dependable. That's the reason why we didn't choose it.
Correct.
They also weren't here to vote. This is a participative democracy. And they
Right.
did not show up to vote.
And as long as we had a majority vote here, it doesn't matter as far as the club concerned, because a majority here is what rules, according to our bylaws, okay? But you're right. We had problems with the library system what, 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago? Okay, so that's why we're not there anymore.
Not just one library system, both.
Both Caddo and Bossier, so there you go. All right, now, I gotta stop. And I wanna turn this meeting over to Rick, KH2DF. Rick is gonna give us a talk
Yeah,
on
sit down,
this.
Tim. We gotta move on. All right, my name is Rick Westerfield. I'm KH2DF. I work, yeah, thank you. I work at Barksdale Air Force Base. I run the B-52 Flight Test Ground Station, SATCOM, line of sight, beyond line of sight, HF radios. This is my newest toy at the 49th Test and Evaluation Squadron where I work at. It is the L3 Harris PRC 160 HF radio. This is the most modern ground HF radio that the military is currently using today, and this was the first one to show up at Barksdale. We had to actually borrow it from the Army at Fort Johnson. Front panel here, you won't see a lot of knobs. There's not a lot of knobs on here like we have on our thing. There's no on our radios. There's no VFO knob here. There's a mil-spec J5 USB connector there that you probably have never seen before in your life. Not a lot of front panel connectors. There's nothing on the back of this radio. This radio is about that wide up front, about that deep in the back battery can. At the back, it'll run 28 volts DC. Doesn't run on 12 volts. Funny how that is. Have to use a 90-degree connector to come around here for the antenna port right there. Reggie, next one. About 35 grand for that radio. First at Barksdale. Very capable, 1.5 megahertz all the way to almost 60 megahertz. Extra tuner, very good tuner coupler. I could hook up a metal grocery cart on a piece of damn twine and it would tune to that antenna. I'm serious. 20 watts output, but I've got a 150 watt amplifier coming. Deal just got inked today, in fact. Long battery life, 26, 28 volts DC. I can get 8 hours out of a battery if I wanted to. It's a snake eater radio. We learned about this radio from Special Forces guys, SEAL team people. They use it. They throw a little piece of enameled speaker wire up in the trees and clip a wire onto it, and that's their antenna. If they got to move, they clip it off and pick it up and move. They ain't wasting a whole lot of money on antennas. It's real simple, because like I said, I could probably use a plastic grocery cart, tune that up, and it'd be just fine. Independent sideband. You know, we do lower sideband, we do upper sideband. Well, these guys, this radio does data down both sidebands at the same time. You're sending, it's like having an AM signal with pumping data down both sides. Also, there's an adaptive wideband capability here. You know that our radios are our channels are 3,000 hertz wide. Well, this radio can link up to 16 of those 3 kilohertz channels wide to give you 48 kilohertz of bandwidth, of channel bandwidth, to stuff more HF data down through it. So we're never going to see that. They're never going to, FCC will never give us anything more than 3,000 hertz, but the military does adaptive wideband. And like I said, not many front panel knobs. Next one, Reggie. It's an SDR, software-defined radio. If the NSA comes up with a new crypto mode, or the military comes up with FT8 reinforced or enhanced, whatever you want to call it, put a new load of firmware in there. Radio completely reinvents itself. It does do some low VHF stuff, single channel ground air radio system. It's an Army thing. Our Air Force doesn't do much with it. Let's paint it green. It's an Army radio. And everything is always upper sideband, regardless, kind of like data modes for amateur radio. Everything's either upper sideband or wideband. And then it also could be independent sideband. Next slide there, Reggie. Conforms to these different NATO STANAGs, a standardization agreement, 4538, 5066, and then 188, 110D, and 141D. If you're a real nerdy geek and you want to copy this stuff down, Wikipedia will school you on everything there is to know about that, and will take you down a whole bunch of rabbit holes if you're a nerdy geek. If you are, great. These are all various efficient modern serial tone waveforms that we are just now in amateur radio. Back in January, the FCC allowed us to start doing some of these more, these faster, more efficient waveforms that are no longer stuck at 300 baud from 1980. We're going to be able to do faster things on HF because we can do serial tone things now, multiple carriers that people moaned and complained about before because they thought we were going to all clobber each other and HF bands would become a wasteland. They are not a wasteland in the military, nor were they a wasteland in Europe or Asia. We're finally catching up with the rest of the world. The military's been doing it for a long time. The modes have got strong forward error correction, some automatic repeat request for error correction, lots of rate throttling. It'll go up and down. It'll change the enter lever on the data from short to long. Sounding and exchange. You and I, when we're on HF today for amateur radio, we have to go through the drudgery of picking a channel to know if it's going to open or not, if it's going to be open, or we got to go to look at a propagation model. With these radios, it'll take an entire list of scan channels, and if Jim's running the same scan list I am, or Tim's running the same scan list, we're all of us in this room could be running the same scan list, and each one of our radios would pulse each of the others, and we would score each other, and then retain the memory of which the best frequency of a 20 scan frequency list that we can reach each other on, and it'll keep track of it. And when I want to send data to you, I don't even have to think about what channel it's going to go to. It's going to do it automatically. Wow. Called automatic link establishment, and it's using LQA scores. I can go right into the radio and tell me exactly what your LQA score is, and know that that's the radio channel that it's going to pick.
Rick.
Yes.
The old SINGARs, they had to link them, a setup link.
Bob, we don't. Air Force does not do SINGARs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an Army thing.
So there's a difference. Okay.
There is a difference. Yes. All right. There is wideband cognitive radio here. When I said that it could form that 16 channel, 48 kilohertz wide channel, it's smart enough to go listen to see if anybody's transmitting on one of those channels, and it will notch that out, and it won't clobber those other users that are on one of those 16 other wideband channels. Wow. Just move right on past it. So with it, we don't clobber each other. It's a listen before transmit scheme. MELP, it's the digital voice. We don't do MELP in amateur radio. That's mixed excitation, linear prediction, and I should have put a little E right there for enhanced. It's a digital voice at 600 baud, 1200 baud, or 2400 baud. 600 baud sounds just slightly like Charlie Brown's teacher, if you remember Charlie Brown's teacher. Right? But Reggie, I would not be able to tell that it's you, but it would be human intelligible enough to get by. These slower speeds are also much more robust. So in challenged conditions of jamming or enemy jamming, or just can't get good propagation that day, 600 baud digital voice is going to get through where 1200 or 2400 might not. Shannon's noisy channel theorem, that's another nerdy geek thing if you want to figure out why that is what it is. Some of these modes also need a very accurate time. This radio's got a GPS receiver built into it for standard position or military precision. I'd have to load keys in it to get the military precision, but accurate time, so that when these radios are hopping through these different frequencies, they're all hopping together at the same time. If GPS is jammed, you can plan one of these radios that, if we're all in the same net together, you can declare one of them to be the time of day server. And it won't even be GPS time, it'll just be whatever time that time of day server wants to declare. Next slide there. Last Ditch Digital. This is a proprietary mode from L3 Harris. It's FT8 on steroids. They don't call it FT8, but it's another one of those very robust, very slowly modulated, get the data through capabilities when you're out there and you need to, I'm about to be overrun in my position. I need more bullets. I need medevac. You go into LDD or LDV, last ditch voice or last ditch digital. Your message is going to get out. Like I say, it's the same as FT8, same as JT65, but it's a little more text chat. If any of you guys have done JSA call, it's the more chatty version of FT8. But again, we don't call it FT8 in the military. Yeah, I've already mentioned that they use very simple thin enameled wire antennas, pitch them up into the trees. They've also got a vertical whip that they can flip up on the move for a vertical HF antenna. It's also very effective.
For the text might be absolutely zero speaker noise.
Yeah, you've heard FT8 where the data prints through it, and you haven't heard any intelligible FT8 signal coming out of your speaker at all. It's the same way on military HF.
Okay.
It's pulling that intelligibility of data out of the noise where the human brain can't hear anything. Next one, Reggie. There's a software app for file transfers. It's called Harris Tactical Chat IP with ATAC, Android Tactical Assault Kit proxy. Or these Snake Eater Special Forces guys, they've got an Android tablet up here hooked to J5 on the faceplate of the radio, and they can call in messages or call in airstrikes, whatever, right from their tablet, and it'll go flying out the whip antenna up to somebody else who's on the net with them. Some of these modes, the advanced modes, have to be done. You have to mission plan. You actually have to mission plan. I had to build you an address and you an address and put us all on these frequencies at the same time, or this just not going to work. That keypad that you saw there on the front of on the very first slide, some of those things, some of these advanced things, you can't hand jam them in. They have to be done with a mission planning application called CPA.
CPA or CPA?
Not CPA. You're a CPA, Bobby. Have a seat, Bobby.
All right, fine.
Yeah, CPA sets up you're a better door than you are a window there, Bobby. CPA sets up the ALE addressing. I mentioned that a minute ago, automatic link establishment. There is some Ethernet in here, but it's all point-to-point stuff. Crypto keys, this is a very secure radio, 128-bit encryption at secret level, or 256-bit encryption at the top secret level. Most of this stuff the data is at the tactical level, it's not at the strategic level. So an hour from now, if our enemy is able to decrypt this stuff, it's going to be tactically irrelevant and useless to them anyway. The battle we've already moved on. So also we can over-the-air rekey each other's radios. If I've got a crypto key that my buddy needs over there on someplace else in the network, I can over-the-air rekey his radio remotely. Next slide. NSA Type 1 and Type 3 encryption, automatic or advanced encryption standard supported keys, the very latest stuff that the National Security Agency makes, this radio can do. This radio, like I say, is about this big. Most of the battery eliminators back here on the back 2/3. The front 2/3 is about this big, and the radio is about that wide. 3/4 of that radio is computer. Only about a third of it's got anything at all to do with receiving or transmitting, because the rest of it is built to do all of these very advanced digital modes and to do all this 256-bit, 128-bit encryption. Most of the radio is computer. That's what that $35,000 buys you, is computer. Yeah. Next slide, Bridget. I currently run a scan list of 14 different freaks from 2 megahertz to 27 megahertz in a 5-member radio network. Like I said, each radio pulses the other net members and then runs an LQA score, and that takes about 5 or 10 minutes. And that's not a one-time thing. If we were in a net together, I'd be doing that LQA analysis throughout the day and night, because as we all know, HF propagation changes throughout the day and the night. So the radios keep up with each other as to how propagation changes. And so it removes all of the drudgery of doing this, because I can tell you, these Army Snake Eaters and Navy SEAL Snake Eaters, they don't want to have to go to a propagation app and figure this stuff out. They just want the radio to do it. That's why there's not a whole lot of knobs and buttons on the front. This radio pretty much runs on autopilot. You put that CPA plan in there, activate the net, and boom, it's going to start looking for every one of you and finding you and arranging communications. Next slide, Rich. Yeah. Not on this radio, but on a different radio. I didn't watch the hub battery, the hold-up battery. That battery is kept in there, and it's only got about a year's worth of life. And if you don't put the date in there as to when that radio is going to fail, this radio turns into a boat anchor. Yeah, and it's about $500. Don't ask me how I know that. To ship it back to L3 Harris and to get that radio NSA Type 1 reinitialized and shipped back to me so that I can avoid doing that in the future.
Because I think you told me like it.
Yeah, I have done it. It wasn't with this one. It was for a different SATCOM radio, because I didn't put a sticker on there to remind me, change this battery, because it is very unforgiving. It's a crypto feature that the NSA specifies, so that if this radio falls into enemy hands, they go monkeying around inside the lid of the radio, they let this battery go, it's deader than the lip Fillmore to them.
Cool.
Stay present.
Question? Yeah. We waited about 210 days for ours to show up. I had to borrow one from Fort Johnson from way back last summer while we waited for ours to show up. Fortunately, the place we borrowed it from had 8 more just like it on the shelf. They were more than happy to sign it over to me on a hammer seat. But it's sitting in my desk now. Yes, Bobby?
How many watts did you put out?
20.
20, you missed that. 20.
20 watts, Bobby.
I am put an
Ma'am.
amplifier behind it. Yes. I'm going QRO at 150 mighty watts.
Yeah.
But it'll be about 210 days before I get it. Next slide. And that's it. Any questions? There are no dumb questions. Keep you waiting.
EMP protection or anything? Is it,
Well, yeah, it's probably got some EMP protection. You can look up Mill Standard 810H and it'll tell you exactly how much.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, there is one other piece of business we have to take care of before I call this meeting to ask for a motion to close. Our spring cookout this year is gonna be on the 27th at 5 o'clock at the QTH building.
5 o'clock. 4 to 6.
4 to 6, okay.
Start serving at 4:30.
Okay, we're gonna start serving.
And Margaret, because it's her event.
Okay, this is Ann Margaret's event. Okay, so at Yule and Ann Margaret's place, KA5-TVN and K5-TVN, they're hosting.
Tonight, can we pay tonight?
You can pay tonight. Bobby, you will take payments and then transfer funds to them. Is that correct?
Who and what?
To Yule. No, you know what I'm talking about. This is for our club crawfish bowl. Those that don't eat crawfish, they can have hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff like that. This is going to be down at Yule and Ann Margaret's place, down on right on 522 out of off of Highway 84, about a mile and a half south. We're going to have a club crawfish bowl. First annual spring cookout. We're bringing the spring cookout back. We're also going to bring the fall cookout later at a date that I will bring it up. So anyone that wants to pay, it's $20 a head, and that's cheap for all you can eat crawfish, okay? You ain't kidding. So we're gonna do $20 a head. Now, after April the 24th, if you want to just show up and pay, it's $25 a head. But if you want to pay in advance, there's several that's already paid Yule in advance. But at $20 a head, that's a pretty good deal. And we'll be down there. We're going to invade their place. Probably going to do it at the barn, which if you guys have not seen anything about it, this barn is the actual big setup that's really nice and will handle up to 100 people. So it's a great place. So anybody that wants to pay in advance, see Bobby, get yourself registered up, and we're looking forward to having our fall cookout. Go ahead,
I
Billy.
got pictures of Fuel's scan codes if you want Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App.
So there you go, Bobby.
I want to tell you what our treasury is.
Give us our treasury.
Okay, we have 38,666.
Ah!
56.
Mark of the beast.
I know, but that's okay. 66666.
Most do accept Bobby's report.
Seconded.
All right, it's all good. All in favor? Yeah, we're all there.
Who knows Ricky Whitmore?
I do.
Yeah.
Call him.
Okay.
He's never cashed our check.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I just saying, it's been a while. See the radio yet? One night.
Tom, you want to give me the check and I'll call him and tell him to come by the house and pick it up and bring me the radio?
I'm supposed to get with him this week.
Okay, if that falls through, call me and let me know. He comes by my house pretty regular, so. Okay. Anything else? Any other business? You wanna pre-register? We need some pre-registration to make sure we got enough money in the kitty to go ahead and buy all the crawfish and stuff. We know how many people are gonna be there. So, can I have a motion to close the meeting? Got a motion, second? Any opposed? Good evening, everybody.